let's actually look at some directives. I think we've earned it. We've plowed through some theory. Let's get to the fun stuff. What? Actually, let's go into here. Okay, I am jumping into the app.js in the Angelo project. Okay, so we will just review the real quick. So let me show you what this looks like. Okay, so this is an Angular approximation of Trello. So what I have is essentially you have these columns with these user stories. And so when you click on a user story, then you can see it here, you can update it. So let's go story 2. So you can see they're bound together. There's a few interesting things going on. I've actually integrated with a jQuery UI to do drag and drop. That's actually surprisingly interesting to do. So I'll talk about that briefly. And then if you go to this kind of bar chart thing here, is I actually have some integration with float charts. So we will start there and kind of walk through what's happening here. So this is, real quick, the user story directive. And so this is where, just to reiterate what we talked about previously, is you kind of have those three main components: linker, controller, return, which is your DDL. And so obviously this was written, or this particular piece was written before ng-animate. So now I would simply defer to that. But you have the link function, which is just basically saying on mouse over, set the opacity to this. On mouse off, set it back to 1. So I'm basically just barely fading it out. And so this is a really handy place to do that. It's easy. Notice I'm not having to do any kind of DOM querying or any kind of select or whatever. I'm just saying on mouse over, bam. I'm chaining it, mouse out, set it to this. So really easy, nice effect. But at the same time, as I'm saying scope, delete stories, when you actually delete the story, you click the delete button, then go ahead and basically call the Angelo model, which has that function, and go ahead and delete this for me. So obviously, an item should not manage its membership within a collection. Is that you should defer to whoever owns that collection to do that. So in this case, all the user stories are in the model. And so back to the question of, if you inject a service into a directive, do you do it at the controller level or at the directive level? The answer is to do it at the directive level, And then it's available because it's been injected into the entire thing for the controller. And so I'm simply just saying, here's the ID. Go ahead and pass this to the model. So that was just a bit of review, the 3 parts. Does that make sense? Link, controller, DDL.